Hello, beautiful souls. This is Yami. I'm filming in my car again. It's early in the morning, and I just wanted to make a video to just kind of share what's been happening these last couple of months. I've been just, really trying to make a lot of changes in my life, and what's been different is I've been focusing a lot more on action. And especially with so many of us, number 11 life paths, some of us I feel are very empathic. And so, with that being said, I've been trying to work on how to ground myself and how to practice things that I am trying to make into daily rituals almost. For different reasons to help me with kind of the overload or all the information that is constantly coming into me. I wonder if some of you go through the same thing. I'd love to hear about your experiences on a day-to-day basis. If you could comment below and just share what you go through, what a day is like for you. But for me, it kind of seems like it's pretty much an ongoing of receiving information all day long, all while I'm trying to have conversations with people or just go about my daily life. Um, I definitely feel like I am a lot more connected to the divine just naturally, but I do feel that when it comes to kind of navigating through this world and sorry, excuse me, I'm trying to fix the light here. When it comes to navigating through this world and all of the responsibilities that being in this body comes with, and whatever other choices each of us make as individuals, but more so for me, what it looks like to be not only the soul that I am and my truth and what I'm trying to create in this world as a soul, but then also just the expectations placed on me by society, by the people around me, on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure, just like everyone else, we all kind of go through ups and downs, but I feel that as a life path number 11, we definitely experience a lot more. I don't know, and maybe it's just me, but like just a separate way of experiencing this world. And given, most of us have had very interesting, difficult, turn of events happen in our lives, I wanted to go ahead and share some of my own experiences. And, when I checked in with Divine, I was very much, kind of called to share my own story. Now, if I shared it in detail, it would probably take very, very long, longer than 20 minutes. So I'm going to try to kind of just go through some highlights. When I was born premature. I was born at 6 months. My lungs were very weak. My body was very weak. And I could have died, but I didn't. And then again, when I was 7, I was hit by a car. I had some broken bones. And the way that the impact hit me, things could have been much worse. So there was that. And then when I was 21, right before I turned 21, I started having very terrible symptoms. For at least a year and a half before that, I wasn't feeling well. I was sleeping a lot. I hadn't gone through my awakening yet at all at that point. But again, I always felt, a strong connection to the divine, but I was at that point, which I'll explain why, I was not listening to my inner truth, to my inner voice. But, I kind of chalked up being, so tired and feeling sick to just, being a young adult, being a teenager, whatever. But when things got really bad, I went to the doctor and I ended up finding out that I had several health issues. I was diagnosed with hepatitis C, which they believed I contracted while I was in the incubator or, when, yes, an incubator, and receiving blood transfusions when I was a baby in the 80s. So it had been laying dormant in my body, and now it was attacking my liver full force. So there was that. And then they also found out that I had, at that point, it was just thyroidism, some thyroid issues. But, like that just all coupled together was a really huge blow for me at 21. I thought, here we go. Like I was going to, be free and go to Cancun and, do all the normal, 21-year-old crazy, explore life and have fun type of things. But that didn't happen, when I heard that and they told me that I really had to take care of myself. And, given the type of disease, genotype that I had, that, it was very likely that the disease would progress very quickly. And that in 5 years, I could be looking at needing a liver transplant. So all these things were very scary to hear at, 21. They were very scary, and all I thought was, no, no way. Like, I didn't survive everything that I've survived so far just to die, in the next 5 years, or, to have a slow, painful death. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, it can't happen. There's a purpose for my life, and I'm gonna live. But needless to say, it's been like what, 13 years now since that diagnosis. No, maybe more like 12 years. But the last at least decade of my life was not easy at all. It was very difficult to be in a body that felt like a cage. It was very difficult to be in a body that felt like a tomb at times too. Like I just, I would do the best I could to get through my days. I had enough energy to go to work, work 40 hours a week, support myself, do whatever I need to do for myself, cook, clean, but it was not enough. I did go through a lot of depression. It was very hard for me to feel like I was so young, and even though I appeared healthy to people, that I was just always so exhausted, and that I was, sometimes in pain, and, sometimes just, nauseous, or just like extremely exhausted, and no one really understood because I looked healthy and I appeared, to be just fine, on the outside. But internally, my body was going through a constant, war, basically. My body was trying to defend itself against this virus, and at the time there was no cure, and the treatments weren't really easily available to me at the time. But anyhow, that was one aspect of it. I was also an only child growing up to a single mother. And, I was gay, and I had to struggle with coming out, and, living with knowing that many of my religious family members, probably wouldn't like that or agree with that, or, at the time I didn't even, when I was kind of, self-questioning or discovering, I didn't even know what gay was. But I was just going through that by myself, that whole experience of, who am I? What does this mean? And it wasn't too much later, till high school, that I found out, that, oh, there's other people who are, just like me, and I don't have to like boys. And, there's support, in these other teens that are going through the same thing. But the reason I'm mentioning all of this is because even though through most of that I was alone, the divine was always there for me. That was never a question. I believe that if it wasn't for that strong connection that I've always had to the divine, that my life probably would have been over. In that I would have given up. Um, I was never. It was never even a thought or an option to self harm. Never. But there were those days where I would literally wake up and I would hope that somehow I could go back to sleep and not wake up again. As terrible and dark as that sounds, that's where I was, at several points in my life. So I really know what, rock bottom looks like, at least for me, what that was individually for me, and how dark that place was. But that there was always, that voice inside of me, that truth, that light, that divine essence that was shouting no, that there was purpose in all of this, that I had something greater calling me, pulling me, and here I am now, 33. Yes, I don't have all of the answers. No, I don't have it all together. I'm human, I'm flawed, but the one thing that I know is that what I'm doing now, the work that I do with myself and, with people who come to me, who meet me, is really just to empower them. And that this strong calling and this strong knowing that, that I would survive all these things, as terrible as they felt at the time, and as lost as I felt, and as, forgotten and, alone, and all these things that I felt, that they would be of use someday, or that, something good would come of it. And now I must say that, as dark as those moments were, I'm here now, like shining a light and trying to be a light in this world where there are many moments where so many of you, might be faced with those same feelings and those same circumstances. So yes, I can stand with people in those places, that seem so dark and so full of hurt. And I wanted to make this video not only to, reach out and kind of touch base with all of you who are life path number 11s, because I know we all struggle greatly, in our lives in a way that isn't really easily or readily understood by many around us. For me, I feel that I'm met with a lot of judgment and, a lot of different aspects which I've had to work through, even now, even in, just currently. But I know without, a doubt that I'm supposed to be doing this work, that I am here, to just help, to be of service. So anyone who is, going through being sick and just feeling like they don't even want to be in their bodies, they don't even want to be here anymore, it's like, reach out to me, comment below, whatever, like watch my video, subscribe, share. I want to be a support, to everyone who's experiencing or going through the things that I've already gone through. And it's not going to be the same, but, but there will be an understanding, that I can share, and a space that I can hold for you all. So whether you're gay, lesbian, questioning, transgender, whatever, and you feel like no one understands you, email me, reach out, or, if you're struggling with chronic illness and there are those moments where you just feel like giving up, don't, like, again, if I wouldn't have gone through all these things, I wouldn't be able to sit with and to hold space for the people who come see me who are going through these things now, so that I could, truly, empathize with them and truly kind of just have a different vulnerability and openness that someone who's never experienced hardship or someone who's never been chronically ill in their life could. It's taken a long time to get to this point, where I can look back at those darkest moments and just know, okay, there was purpose in that, And that's okay if you're not there yet. That's okay if you're looking at your life and you're like, oh yeah, easy for you to say, like this is shitty and this really sucks. And, it does. And feel all of that. Feel all of that. But know that just like I am here, there are so many others going through the same exact thing. And that, yes, you are not alone, as cliche and corny as that sounds. But the reason you need to hang on to that is because there is power in that. There's strength in that. If I can get through the things that I got through, then you can too. Why? Because you have that same divine, essence within you, because you have the ability to tap into your inner strength, into your inner light. But sometimes we need help. Sometimes we need tools. Please use those tools. Watch my videos, watch other people's videos, do yoga, meditate. Whatever feeds you, that's what you need to be doing. Whatever brings you the slightest amount of joy, even if, at this point, all you can do is look out your window because you're bedridden, what have you, like, do that. Start small. Do something that brings a smile to your face, makes you happy, gives you hope, even if it's small at first. And you can tackle the bigger things like working out every day or whatever, but be compassionate with yourself. Understand that what you're going through might not make sense, that it sucks and it's painful, and that maybe the people who are directly around you do not have a clue or don't understand what you need. And maybe you don't know what it is you need yet, but, meditate, pray, whatever you feel you should do, to get guidance, do it and just ask and see what happens. See what movie you watch, or see what song comes on to inspire you, see what book is lent to you. It's like all of these things are out there and you are constantly calling them into your reality, including all of the things that you're going through. I now know why I allowed those things to happen. If none of those things would have happened to me, my life would be entirely different. I'm like 99% sure of that. But I can't be exactly sure because I didn't know then. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of leave you guys with my story, a little bit of it at least. And again, like, I'm just trying to help people through their process, because I didn't have anyone physically here to do it for me. And I do see how that can be helpful, especially when you are in the darkest of dark moments. But please stay strong. Watch my videos, subscribe, email me if you need someone to talk to. I love you all. Love and light. Bye bye.